Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Motley, and I'm with the Cannon County Chamber, and this is the Cannon County Chamber Connection. And my host this week, my co-host, will be Brittany Goodwin. And of course, Brittany, I don't really know what all your titles are.
I don't even really know what all my titles are.
Well, she's always at the Art Center, and I know that she directs, and she also performs, and she also takes care of the front desk. I think I've seen her dust on occasion.
Yeah.
Anything else I've missed?
Whatever I need to do, I'm always here.
That's right. And she does a good job too. Plus she's real pretty, and that helps too. It does. I do have some guests today, and we had a lot more, but we had a couple of cancellations, which is probably a good thing. That means the show won't run an hour and a half like it did last month. And we do want to thank DTC because they do make this show possible. And I can't tell you how much they do for the counties that they're in. And of course, DTC is a co-op. So if you are invested in DTC and a phone or anything else, you are an owner. Well, sort of an owner, but it is a co-op. So yeah, you got shares in there. I have with me today Mary Lou Apple, and she is the president of Motlow State Community College, and she is here to talk to us about the Tennessee Promise for 2015 graduates. And Mary Lou, you came a little ways, haven't you, for this?
Just a little. It's an honor to be here, though.
Well, we're glad to have you, and you're talking about something that is very important. I can't tell you how people should take advantage of this, really, because it is maybe not completely free, but virtually free education for 2 years, right?
It's a wonderful opportunity. It is. The Tennessee Promise program is Governor Haslam's program to try to move our citizens in Tennessee to be more skilled, have credentials and degrees. And he started his initiatives by Drive to 55. And the idea was currently we have 32% of our citizenry educated and credentialed, when really we need to have closer to 55%. So thus his Drive to 55 is to move us to where we have better skill sets, attract business and industry, and help those that exist to grow. So this is one of his programs to try to really move that needle for us to be more educated. So the Tennessee Promise is indeed a first time ever program that I have seen that is available to all Tennessee high school graduates beginning with the class of 2015, regardless of income or academic standards.
And you're talking actually free enrollment in a community or technical.
Correct, and that's a good point. It's up to 2 years tuition free for either a technical college or a community college.
Right, and Motlow falls right into that category,
Motlow does fall
doesn't
into
it?
that category.
And of course, Motlow has a great nursing program, and I'm sure there's other programs that, and a lot of times when you start college, you have to do remedial education, and before you can even get to what you think you want to be, right?
Right, and we have all those things.
Right.
And that's a very good point. And 2 years will get you sometimes the degree that you want to go immediately to work. It will get you the first 2 years to go to a four-year college, often skill sets that you need to obtain a good job, or maybe just get promoted within the job skills that you have
Right,
now.
right.
So it is a great opportunity. There are some deadlines, though, that students have to remember. Free is free, but there are some deadlines they need to meet. So we're
Right,
really
there's
hoping that you can help spread that word about the deadlines.
Paperwork you have to do too,
That's right.
And one of your deadlines is November 1st, right?
Correct. That's right. And your high school principals and your guidance counselors are well aware of this. So you've got community citizens that are working these issues too. We're just trying to tell the word and have others like you that have viewers that would maybe pass the word on and say this is truly tuition free for up to 2 years. Very unusual concept.
I
but
think
they do
people think their first tendency is to say, what's the catch? This is too
Exactly.
good to be
That's
true.
We have heard that before. That's exactly right.
I knew that.
And I really, I think the catch is just, hit the deadlines.
You have to have deadlines
Hit the
to it. You do.
deadlines. And then the community has a little portion in this too, which really makes this program unique. And it has a mentoring component. So every student will be assigned a mentor. And so that's where the community has to step up. Every community citizens ask, would you consider being a mentor? And what that is a commitment to is about 10 hours of your time over a 12-month period. And you're given some students to be a mentor to, and you just kind of cheer them on. Probably we had families that did that for us, that said, yes, you can do it, do your homework, attend classes, it is important, you can be anything you want to be. But not every student we know has that
Right.
at home. So these mentors are to provide that little extra coaching or encouragement. So the community really has a big part in the success of this as well. And I like that platform. The state steps up, the community steps up, the student steps up, and the educational entities step up. So it's a
Right.
win for everybody.
Everybody's working together. That's very difficult to get done sometimes.
It is.
But I can't tell you how strongly I think, good heavens, guys, look at this program, 2 years. You may still have to buy books. It may not be UT. It may not, but you got to start somewhere, and you got to look ahead and think, okay, what am I going to do after I graduate? And like she said, with 2 years, you could get a better job than with none. I mean,
Are there student requirements, a certain grade point average they have to have?
No, that's what's so unusual about this program. You must graduate,
Okay.
which means you have to have grades good enough to graduate. But what's so unique about it, almost every program, and I've been in education 30 plus years, always normally has an income requirement or
Right.
lack of, or an academic requirement. And so if you met one of those two, generally there was something for you. But this one doesn't have an income requirement.
So no restrictions, as long as you graduate, anyone is
Tennessee,
eligible.
and you can meet the deadlines, which are
Okay.
the big ones are to complete the application, which is a 1 page.
Okay.
And fill out a FAFSA. That's the federal, the free aid.
Right.
Federal. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be eligible for anything, but you must complete it
Okay.
first. This is considered what they talk about a last dollar scholarship, meaning that you'll go after the federal money available if you qualify first, or any other scholarships. And then if there's a remaining amount, Tennessee Promise is going to pick it up, whether it's the entire amount or a portion of the
Okay,
amount.
great.
So those two are big deadlines is what I consider, because that's the ones they're afraid most students will not hit.
So if our students at our high school, of course, they're aware of this, and they wanted to take advantage of this, I know it's a little early in the school year, but it goes fast,
Oh, it goes very fast, yes.
and everybody's already hitting you with all these, the Hope Scholarship, and which is great. I mean, that has put a lot of kids
Right.
through school, or helping them go through
Yes.
school. But this one, like I say, almost sounds too good to be true, but November 1st is your first deadline.
It is, and the window is open. The students can go in right now electronically and fill out that application. But we're going to host a help session. So the help session closest to the students here is going to be hosted at the McMinnville Center on October the 7th at 5:30. And we're going to have the computer set up and personnel set up, and mom and dad and student, they can all come in, they can ask any question they want to. And the second thing that we're going to do, we thought, what could be better than free? And it would be free plus free. So we're going to waive the $25 application fee to Motlow.
Oh.
So if they come that night, we'll help them get both deadlines, because that's another deadline a little bit later, but we'll help them get both, and we're going to make it free.
Oh.
So free plus free, we thought was the next best thing.
What's not to like?
It is.
And of course, the high school's aware of this.
They
You
are.
can go to your high school counselor or whoever and tell them, I'm interested in this.
Yes.
And they can give you the information. Or is there some place where they can contact?
They can. There's several places. We have a website, and the website is TN Promise, all one word, TNPROMISE MSCC, standing for Motlow State Community College.edu. So if they go on this site, it will direct them to the application. If all else fails and you can't remember anything but Tennessee Promise, Google Tennessee Promise, and that direction will take you where you need to go as well. You can always call Motlow at any of our locations and say you want information about Tennessee Promise, and someone can help you. Or Brenda Cannon is our go-to person, and her email is bcannon, CANNON, @mscc.edu.
Okay.
So we have a variety of ways.
Great.
And I think this is, and like I say, this is good for a technical or community college.
Right, exactly, either. They can make their choices. If they see a program that they really like at the technical college, it's applicable to that as well as the community college.
All right. I think everybody needs to go out there and apply.
We hope they do. We really, it makes a huge
Now,
difference.
what did you say? Wait a minute, let's go back here a minute. A lot of kids qualify for some scholarships.
That's right.
A lot of them are not continuing scholarships. Some of them are just a flat rate. You know, some of them may not be for very much, but they can still apply for this.
Oh, yes, yes.
Even though they
This is considered
get
a
those.
last dollar. In other words, if you get to the end of, you've tried to get money to go to college, and you get to the end of the line, and all you've gotten is $1,000.
Right.
Okay. Tennessee Promise is going to come in and pay the gap between whatever you have, whether that's the entire amount. You didn't qualify for any scholarships. If it's the whole amount, Tennessee Promise is going to pay the whole amount.
There you go. Wow.
No,
That's
but they
all I
have to
can
get
say.
in the count. So November the 1st, I can't stress that enough. The deadlines are so important that if you miss one, you're out for good.
Oh.
There's no looping back.
Okay.
They're very serious about it.
All right, guys, parents, grandparents, you need to get a hold of your seniors this year and tell them, you know, if you plan on going anywhere, and go ahead and work for your scholarships or whatever, but this is free. I don't know how much better you can get than that. I really don't. Plus, they're even going to waive the $25. They've got pizza and they haven't mentioned door prizes, but hey, it's all right there. Just remember, November 1st, if you want more information, I have some information here at the chamber. You can call me. I'll give you the numbers to get in contact with them, or go to your high school
Guidance
counselors. Yeah, thank you. Go to them, and they surely have all this information and will be glad to help you with it. But just remember, November 1st. This is a money saver any way you want to look at it. Mary Lou, we thank you.
Thank you.
For coming, and please come back. In fact, I'd like to kind of do a follow-up as far as for seeing how this went
I would love that.
after November. Okay, our next one is Lynn Pickett. And Lynn, you are a new chamber member and also a new business owner in Woodbury. And you fit right in with all of our antique stores, right?
I try.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a little rebellious, but
What, you've made them all mad? What?
no, they've all accepted me. I'm very pleased.
I know.
I'm just a
Well,
little,
you have a great little store.
thank you.
I mean,
I
I
love
was
it.
in there, I was very impressed. I
Oh,
really
thank
was.
you.
I like,
Thank you.
it's antique, but yet it's more to the, I want to say the primitive side, but then you also have other things that maybe aren't so primitive.
Right.
And what sort of items do you carry in your store?
I carry primitives, country primitives, meaning if you think about it, you think of the Amish or the Shaker style kind of things, candles, wooden bowls, fun stuff. Gifts, you can go in. My favorite thing is somebody running in and going, "It's my mom's birthday. I need a gift. This is what she loves. Let's go for it." That's the best thing ever.
You also have a boutique
I
area
do.
from a young lady
I do. I'm
that's-
so excited to have Poppy's Boutique with us. I'm actually a walking Poppy's Boutique today. So
Lots of
Sarah-
jewelry.
Yes, she has great jewelry. That girl has sold out twice.
Well,
And she has been in the store a little under a month.
wow.
Amazing. And her prices are great. They're stylish. She's wonderful. She has scarves. She has wreaths. She's a very talented young lady.
It's very unique. Is it things she makes herself?
This is actually something she gets from a vendor.
Okay.
But she makes headbands and wreaths out of burlap and just really fun things. Hers is more shabby chic, and then my side is more the primitive look, which they counteract each other just perfectly.
Right. And you have furniture items.
I do.
You do have wooden bowls.
I have wooden
You
bowls.
have a candy and basket
I
section.
do. That is, I've been with the little guys around town. I'm the candy lady. They all know when they walk through my door, they can go to the basket and get themselves a sucker while their moms and dads shop. So that's wonderful. And my new candy line came in a couple weeks ago, and it's old time candy. So if you remember squirrel nut zippers or root beer barrels or blackjacks and that kind of candy. So
I don't remember the first one. The other two.
Squirrel nut
I've heard of.
zippers, apparently it's before my time, but it's very chewy.
Sounds fun.
It's fun. Just make sure your fillings
I
are all
think it
in
may
place
have
well.
been before my
That's what
time,
I always
too.
say. I used to work for a dental office. It's like, don't eat that unless your teeth are in really good condition. But it's very chewy. It's real fun. But
And they're in baskets.
they're in little baskets. You go and scoop them up. And I would love to say they're a penny, but they're not.
There's
It's
no
penny
such
candy.
thing anymore.
No,
There's
there
no such
isn't.
thing
But
anymore.
the kids love it. I have little paper bags and scoops, and they go and pick out what they want, and it's fun to see that.
I think I've seen this on Gunsmoke, if I'm not mistaken. They have the general store.
The general store, yes, yes.
And this that you brought with you today.
This is an antique. This is an antique spool. It's called a beehive spool. And I have stuff like this in there to decorate your antiques. This is called a pip ring, and it's got rusty stars on it, and you can, it comes in all different colors and sizes too. So I just put that on there just to kind of spruce that up. But my big thing is, and I cannot keep in stock, is really my timer candles. And everyone gets the spiel when they come into my store. I have 4 and 7 inch candles, and they're all rolled in real wax. And you put your AA battery in for the 4 inch, and then when you turn this little knobby here, if I can get it to screw in, and the light's not gonna work. Okay, if I had a working battery, this little thing would just flicker on just like crazy, and it looks like a real candle, and it's gonna stay lit for 6 hours.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, then it's gonna go off, and it's gonna go off for 18 hours, and it's gonna come back on the same time that you set this.
All from that little candle.
All from this
That
little
is so
candle.
neat.
And it is, if you could feel it, it feels like
Oh,
wax.
yeah.
It's rolled in real wax. And I think this is one of my little demos that I use all the time in the store. So I think my battery, I'm really sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
But anyway, and they fit in all, I say, standard tapered candle holders. I have some in crystal candle holders at home.
Wow.
So, you put them in there, and they're very, as you can see, it's primitive looking. But this is an antique beehive spindle that I came across. It's for sale in my store. You decorate any way you want. The candles come in different colors, browns, creams. This is kind of a grungy black. And it comes in, I have pillars that are also on timers. I have little tea lights that are on timers.
Are those the ones that's on that little Christmas tree? She has little
Oh, little
candles
tiny-
about this big that
Those
look like that.
Those
that
are
go
actually
on.
real candles. You wouldn't want to light them, but they just clip on
Yeah.
your tree, and they are the sweetest things you've ever
Aw.
seen. So, but I also have string lights that are on timers. You just put your batteries in them, they stay lit for 6 hours. You could decorate a wreath. Anyway, so I have lots of stuff like that. Great gifts. great
Right.
gifts. I had a lady come in yesterday, she said, my friend came and bought me a Christmas or a birthday present, and it was this candle in this candle holder, and now I need some decoration to go in it. So we got some, rings, and she was just thrilled. It's the best thing in the world to see people walk out my store just beaming.
Yeah. Well, Lynn, I'm glad to have you as a member, and you're a lot of fun, and your
Thank
store's a
you.
lot of fun. It is.
I love when we have a lot of fun. People are just like, thank you for talking to me. I like to talk, so come on in and chat with me. So,
And of course, everybody is always real excited with Lynn because she was originally from Alaska. So this is a big
I was a
change for you.
sourdough in Alaska, yes, 21 years.
Well, Lynn, is there anything you want to give us hours and location, please?
Okay, I'm at 203 West Main Street, right on the corner. And my hours are 10 to 6 every day except Sunday and Wednesdays where I am closed.
Right.
And I have a few booths available still for rent, and I'm looking for Tennessee artisans that do candles or soaps or any kind of wood carvings, anything like that. I'm trying to promote the Tennessee artisans in our area. It's just so important.
We have a few.
And yes, you do. You have the art center. There you go.
We really do have a
But I'd
few.
like to see them come in and put it in my.
Well, now you have some of the wooden bowls in there.
I do, and I just got an artist, a beautiful artist. I have 2 new artists now. I have Miss Roberta Reynolds from McMinnville, and she paints beautifully. You need to come in and see her work. And then I just got Brenda DeJoyce, who does, and you know who she is? She's
I do.
local,
I
and
do.
she does beautiful wood burning.
Wood burning, yeah.
Wood burning. It's amazing. And she has some great primitives too in her booth. So,
Right. See, that's right up your alley.
it's right up
there.
my alley, and so I've got a couple spaces left. I've got a lady a friend of mine, Linda Osborne, who does shabby chic, and that is so different. It's the polar opposite of primitive, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then if you're eclectic, this is a great place.
Where
So
can they call you at?
they can call me at, of course, 615-563-1222.
And do you have an email
I
or
do.
a website?
I do have an email, and it's L.A. Pickett, my last name with 2 T's, Fence, Fence, at myway.com.
Okay.
So,
Well, Lynn, we wish you the best.
Thank
and
you.
of course, our Merchants Christmas Open House
So
will be
excited.
coming up in November. And I know you'll want to be a part of that.
So excited.
Yours will fall right into that because I can hardly wait to see how you decorate for
I
Christmas.
can't wait. I'm
So-
getting geared up for it.
And we have another new chamber member. He's a little bit older than Lynn was, as far as for his length of time on the chamber. But we have Mr. David Goff with us. And David, you're always busy, aren't you, David? But
Every
are you
day,
going to
every
tell
day.
me no? You're not.
No, we're busy all the time. I
But
try to keep myself busy. So
he
you guys-
is a tree expert, and of course, that sometimes means cutting them down, or the branches anyway. And you stay up in the trees a lot, don't you?
Yeah, it seems like that's where I'm at most of the time. Either in a bucket or up in the tree, climbing in a tree.
Okay, but it's getting to that time of the year where if people want to trim their trees for the following year, that you'll probably be a little busier, right?
Yeah, during the summertime, it's kind of rough on some trees when you're doing trimming during the summer. It's hard on them. They sometimes go into shock, and you can cause more of a trouble doing it then and wait until fall or early spring. So it gets busier this time of year. Soon.
So before the snow flies, if you want to have your tree.
Preferably for me because it's very, very cold. But we still do it in the wintertime too. It's just,
But really,
never ends.
ideal is when the leaves are falling or
Yes.
have fallen
once the
already.
leaves have fallen off, it's much easier for us less to clean up.
Well, that's true.
But it's easier on the tree also at the same
And
time.
that's another question here. You also do the cleanup.
Yes. Woman, that's pretty important because it's easy for these other tree companies to take the trees down and trim them, and but then when it comes, the hard part is getting it cleaned up and leaving like when you
You've been there
first
and
got
done
there.
that before.
That's
and We
right.
had a whole yard full of
It's a lot of work.
small
People don't
trees
realize
laying
it's a
out
lot
there
of work.
everywhere, you know.
Once they do it a couple times, they don't want to do it anymore.
What
They
the
rather hire,
people.
they hire us to do it.
Oh, yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do a bush, I feel that way. I thought,
True.
if you're trimming that, I want
True.
somebody to do away with it too. A few years back, I would have done that, and not thought a thing about it. Tell us about how far back you are right now, if someone needed their trees trimmed, or if you would go out and give them an estimate, or,
When someone usually calls us to get an estimate, I'm pretty much, I can do it that day or the day after, real close. The time frame's real quick. I think about a week and a half ago, I don't know when this is gonna air, but about a week and a half ago, we had a big storm in Smithville, and I've been kind
Cleaning
of
up.
living there for the past week and a half now.
cleaning
Just
up.
cleaning
right?
up, and it looks like a tornado went through there and just dropped a lot of trees on houses, and but we got that cleaned up, and I don't like to have anybody have to wait. If they call me, we're just a few days behind. We work as long as we have to get caught up and keep going.
Okay, prices, does that depend on the size of the tree, or how much trimming you have to do, or what's that based on?
I don't really go by as far as the weather. I can't ever predict that, but it always has a big factor as far as how long things take. But where the tree's located at the house or property, is it next to something that can fall on your house or electrical lines or something like that?
All
Or
of the
septic
above.
fields? Yes, there's so many things that vary. So it's really hard for someone. I had a person ask me this morning, how much would it cost for this dead tree to be taken down? I told him I have to go look at it, physically figure it out. And that way I'll know what I'm getting into. But to
Right.
have somebody call me and me give them a price, it's
So you
it's
don't really
impossible.
have a set rate. You've got to look
Yeah.
at the job before you can
Right, yeah.
give an estimation.
You can't
on
go
it,
by
right?
the hour because that might run into 2 days. You just never know.
Well, yeah, I'd be out there helping you.
The sim-
Hurry up, let's hurry up and get this
The
done.
simplest things you think end up being the most time consuming.
Right.
You know, the simplest tree like Bradford pears, which everybody knows what they are, and they're the worst tree in the world, but they're not the biggest. But they entangle themselves when they hit the ground. They cut you up. They're difficult to work with. So they're
But-
more expensive than a larger tree sometimes.
Really? They're
Yes.
tough,
They're tough.
and you can't hardly get rid of them.
No, but
We
when they
had
fall on the
one.
ground, they fall apart quick.
We had one that split once, and one side of it, it looked kind of
Yeah.
deformed. You know, if you were coming one way, it looked okay going the other way. And then we had another storm, and another big hunk of it fell off. So I thought, well, this tree is done for. So my husband went out there, and we just cut it all back to where it was just a big stick sticking out of the ground, and I thought, well, it's going to die. It looks better now than whenever we planted it. All that grew back, and it filled in everywhere.
Unfortunately, those have their characteristics there for them to, they're real brittle. The wood is real hard and brittle, so once one side breaks off, the whole tree becomes unstable, and then pretty soon the whole thing falls apart. So it's best when they fall apart that far, usually, to take them down.
We did,
Yep.
but it grew back.
Well, that's good.
We'll see how
pretty.
long
We'll
it
see how long
takes
it
it
takes.
to fall apart again.
That's
But they are tough. Magnolias are tough.
Yep. I know.
They'll
you're
grow
tough.
back.
Yeah, you gotta trim those properly so no one gets upset. You know, every tree has to be trimmed a certain way so it looks the same as it's growing. We have cleaned up jobs from other companies or other people who have done it where it was trimmed wrong originally, and it's difficult to get it back to normal, but you can still do it if you work on it.
I still have branches falling out when the wind blows.
Yeah.
And we had them, that's been years ago we had them trimmed.
Yeah.
But-
And we've had a lot of water this year, a lot of rain, so the trees have really grown a lot. And the past 2 years, we haven't had really many bad storms, So the trees have grown more than they usually do before they fall apart. So if we have a bad storm, we're in trouble around here. We'll lose a lot of trees.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a very important question that a lot of people don't realize is important. You are self-insured and bonded.
Yep. Very few people, very few companies probably are because it's not cheap. But I'm insured for $2 million for every time I start a chainsaw up. So if I happen to make an error and something lands on a car or something crazy, I'm insured for $2 million. And I'm through Woodbury Insurance. And I've been with Travis for a long time, and I've never had a claim, and that's pretty much what you're paying for from us. I don't take any chances. The only chances I take is with me personally, my body. I'll take the abuse, but I won't let anybody to get their
Throw his body into his work right
It's the
there.
truth. Yeah.
Okay, David, I would hate to have your job. I would. Of course, I can't
difficult
get
job.
up in heights, even in that bucket. I don't want to go up there.
That's
in that
another thing
bucket.
too. A lot of people get scared of that, and I'd rather have someone call me than go get a ladder and try to cut a simple limb off and get themselves seriously hurt over
Right.
something small like that.
You don't have any fear of me doing that, because even if I get a ladder, after I get up 2 rungs on that ladder, I'm already shaking. Well, I don't think I can be that far off the ground.
It's
Sounds like you
unstable,
need to
that's-
call David, have him come out and fix that tree or,
I got more than one. Boy, do I have more than one. David, how do we get a hold of you?
I have 2 numbers, but the one business number is a local number. It's a 615-943-8733, and the last 4 digits also spell tree. So it's easy.
Okay.
943 tree.
If you can do it that way, go ahead, but I gotta stick with the numbers myself.
I know what you mean. I
But it
do
looks
too.
nice on the trucks. That's about it.
And
we-
he
we
does
live-
have a whole herd of trucks. I've seen him.
And we live here in Murfreesboro, and Woodbury, but we take care of Murfreesboro and Bradyville and everywhere around here, pretty close. I don't like to go too far if we can help it, because it just doesn't pay for itself. And, but we're trying to stay in this area and make Cannon County as pretty as possible and take care of all the dead trees. And
How many people you have working for you?
it varies between probably 2 or 3 up to maybe 6 or 10, depending on how
Depending
bad
on
the
the
weather
job
is. Yeah,
and
jobs, yeah. But and we also sell a lot of firewood. If anybody needs firewood, we always have it. Even in the dead heat of the winter time, I'll have some seasoned wood, and I have a lot of exotic woods, if you want to call it that, for barbecuing, your hickory and certain cherries. and
Make
that
your
kind of stuff.
hamburgers smell good.
Yeah, if you want a certain smell or taste, we got it.
so do you try to reuse the trees that you
Yeah,
end up taking out?
anything that's worthwhile that we cut down that could be used, we take them home and cut them up and get them ready for firewood. And some people ask for a certain size or a certain type, and we try to accommodate them as best we can. It's hard sometimes to get the size wood that they want. Some people have large stoves that will require 24-inch, or they just want to stoke it once instead of doing it 10 times a night.
Right.
It's difficult for me to do that. It's just hard for us to make any money to leave them that big. They're so heavy. So we cut them like 16 inches. And down here in the southern part of the United States, a rick is 8 feet long when you stack it up, 4 feet high, and it's supposed to be 24 inches long, or wide. And 2 of those actually make a rack, which will be 8 feet by 8 feet by 4 feet high. But having that size
Like a
doesn't
nursery
fit.
rhyme.
Having that size doesn't fit most of the stoves nowadays. So we have to go back and make them 16 to 18 inches, something like that, so that most of them will fit.
Okay. Do you really have that many people that burn wood anymore?
Last year
Quite a few.
was 1,000 ricks roughly.
Oh, wow. More than I thought.
Yeah, and the year before that was roughly around 1,300 ricks.
Wow.
Okay.
And the way the weather is this year so far, I think we're going to have a cold winter. And I think we're already over 400 ricks already just for since January.
Oh,
It's hard to keep track of, but I kind of do the best I can every month. I kind of figure out in my head what we sold, and it's easy to lose track.
yeah.
You
I
just do it.
understand that.
You go to a job, and on your way to your job, you're dropping off 2 or 3 ricks of wood to someone and you forget about it, but
Well, in other words, if you need your trees looked at, you can call David. He'll come out and tell you about how much it's going to cost, especially if you have them up in the wires, because if they're in the wires, then your utility people are going to come by and they're going to deform your tree, because they're not going to trim that whole tree for you. They're going to trim out the spot where that wire runs through.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a problem. They have certain requirements that they want to have done as far as how many feet from a line, and they're kind of bound by that.
Right.
Even if you extended that, you're just extending into another side, another tree that's a little farther away, you'll have the same problem. So they have to stop somewhere. And when they do that, a lot of these trees that they stop at it may be 23 feet instead of 20 feet, and they have to shave the whole side of the tree off. Eventually, that tree is going to start to lean and tilt towards your house or towards some other object, and you can't blame us or them, because I actually did work for Tennessee Electric and did some contracts for them, and they had certain parameters to follow, and we did that, but we'd make a lot of people upset because they want
I
things done
know,
right.
that's what I was saying. I'm not saying that they're doing what they've
Yeah.
been told to do. But
Right.
if you wait and don't do it and think, okay, it's in the wires, they're going to come out and take care of it. Well, yeah, they will cut out a hole there where the
True.
wires go through. The rest of the tree's up to you.
The electric company does it. DTC doesn't require the trees to have to be trimmed because their cables are, I believe, are much stronger.
They
You
are.
really can't
You
hurt
can
those.
look at 'em and
Right.
tell.
And they're made to hold up and not worry about a tree really taking them down. So that's why DTC really doesn't take care of that. It's really not necessary because it's so strong. But hopefully this winter it won't be that bad and we won't have any ice storms and we'll get through it okay. But if it does, just call us.
Yeah.
We're there to help you
There
out.
you go. And if you don't remember his numbers, if you'll call the chamber, he is a chamber member, and I'll be glad to tell you how to get a hold of David.
Cannon Courier,
Cannon
We're
Courier,
in
he
there
has
every
an ad
week.
in it.
and there's an ad in there, and there's a classified and an ad in the back, and we're gonna try to do some more advertising with the car shows and just look for our trucks. Can't miss us. A bunch of black and orange trucks, and
That's true.
we're here to help
He's
you out.
telling you the truth.
Yep.
Thank you.
welcome.
And thank you for joining the chamber. And of course, every time somebody mentions trees, I think about you. I do.
Well, my wife and I appreciate it very much.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
We are going to talk now. In just a moment, we're going to talk with some people we've had on here before, Anna and Fulton Bertram. And of course, they are publicity and membership chairs for the Friends of the Edgar Evans State Park. But right now, Brittany, you've been very patient, very quiet sitting over here. But we do have a lot of things going on at the Art Center that's coming up. And if you want to talk about those.
Yes, we have so many fun things coming up for the fall. I just want to touch on a few that are the most recent ones coming. We've got on Friday, September 5th, we have a concert here at the Art Center. It's Bailey and the Boys. They were a really hit group back in the 80s and 90s. They had, I think, over 10 hits that were on the Billboard Top 40 country music charts. And they're going to be here in the building on Friday, September 5th. It's a one-night thing. It's a 7:30 show. Tickets are just $15 for adults or $13 for seniors and students. And the Blue Porch will be open, as it always is, on the weekends. So that's a great opportunity to come out and bring the family. And then coming up the following weekend, we have our 25th annual White Oak Craft Fair. We're going to have over 75 vendors from all over the state with all different sorts of crafts. To get into the event, it's just a $3 donation to the Lions Club for parking, and that's going to benefit them. And it's just going to be a really fun day. We'll have a lot of food vendors here as well. So make sure to come out anytime between 9 and 5 on Saturday or Sunday. Again, that's the 13th and 14th for the White Oak Craft Fair. And then our next show that we have going on here, September 19th through October 4th, is Noises Off. It's a really fun comedy. It's a play within a play. There's a ton of great local actors that you've probably seen on the stage here before, or some of the other theaters in the area, and it is a really hilarious show, and it's family friendly, so you can bring everybody out. The show times are Friday and Saturday, 7:30. You've got Sunday matinees at 2 o'clock, and we're located here at 1424 John Bragg Highway. You can call us at 615-563-2787, or you can always call the chamber and they'll give you the number and pass us along. We're here in the same building.
We sure are.
But we've got so much fun stuff. We've got Spamalot coming up in October. The Addams Family is going to be in November. So lots of things happening. So make sure to check out our website, which is artscenterofcc.com, or just give us a call, and we'd love to fill you in on everything we have going on.
And you know, it's not too early to start thinking about Christmas presents. And of course, they have a great Christmas and dinner and Christmas show. But also season memberships to the Art Center make great Christmas gifts.
Yes, season
They
tickets
really
will go
do.
on sale probably in October or November. And then we also have our White Oak Craft Shop that's here on site. So it's a great place. If you can't make it out for the craft fair, you can still come by the Art Center. We're here Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4, and we've got a great gift shop with just so many really unique items available.
It is, and a lot of people come in to visit that too, because I sit in there in that gift
They
shop.
come to
I'm
see
right there in
you.
the corner. So I know all about that, but I don't really know all about the crafts. And when they ask me, I think, okay, where's Brittany? Or where's Neil? You know, because I'm not that familiar with all of them, but I know that there's a lot of people who are. And if you're looking for something unusual, that's the place to come to. And now we're going to get to Font and Anna, and we're going to talk about what Edgar Evans State Park has in store for us.
Well, Fount is president of Friends of Edgar Evans State Park, Carolyn, and
Okay.
I'm the membership and publicity person.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
I
we're a
didn't
pair.
give you your,
That's all right.
your
He does-
due right.
But we have 2 annual events in the fall that are very popular in the area and have a lot of participation from Cannon County. And they are the History Hayride. This will be our 9th annual one, and it will be on October 11th. Reservations opened for that on Monday, September 1st, and they are open.
Oh, I figured they would be sold out already.
Not yet. We are taking reservations online this year for the first time, and so far it looks like it's going to work well. The only problem we have with this is that being newcomers with this company, we got a very long link or address for this, and when it went into the Cannon Courier with a lovely story on the 3rd page this week, the very last part of it was on the 2nd line. I mean, the very last letter. So
okay.
this very top one, which I will read to you, is https://www.123signup.com/event?ID = YTFZX. So if you didn't catch that, you can call our home, which is 765-5357, and we'll be glad to help you. Or you can call Carolyn at the chamber.
And I will give you their home. No, I'll give them the website, I will.
Or you can go to Facebook and look us up as Friends of Edgar Evans State Park, or just Edgar Evans State Park, our companion page. They both have that link. And if you are a techie person, but you missed that long address, you can go to our regular website, which is http:// help me out here.
FOEESP
Alturl, ALTURL.com. But one of those methods should get you to a way that you can make your registrations. Now, after we have made online reservations for several events, 2 or more anyway, we will be able to have a shorter address,
I
Carolyn.
hope so. I hope that, because that's, yeah, I
It's
hope
a
so.
long one. And they didn't tell us this when they sold us this package.
Okay.
But after this, for example, would we add the other fall activity, which is the popular boat color cruise on Center Hill Lake, which will be Saturday, November 1st. Reservations will open for that on October 1st.
Okay.
And it will have a shorter address for that.
And that one usually books up very quickly, doesn't it?
Last year, it sold out in less than an hour.
That's what I
Wow,
thought.
that's awesome.
Yes,
Well,
so
that's awesome. You go out on pontoon boats, right?
that's correct.
And you can imagine how beautiful the colors are on Center Hill Lake. So I could see where that would be popular. And actually, your hayride has a lot of local people
It does.
involved in it.
Yes, this year we have Marcia Milton, Gerald Milton, Lori Christensen, Patty Chappelle, and we may have others by that time. Plus, there are other people from Cannon County who are providing support
Right.
to this in other ways, like helping with parking or directing traffic, helping with registration, and
And that's another thing you can always call Anna too, if you would like to be a friend of the park and volunteer some of your time. I mean, this is some of our greatest resources are our state parks. And you can call her and volunteer. Can you not sign up to
certainly.
volunteer?
We have memberships, and you can either earn them by a few hours of service as a volunteer, or you can pay a nominal fee, whichever you prefer to do. But if you want to volunteer for one event and say, hey, I want to help with the hayride, and then I'll see what I want to do, you know, that may be all I want to do. That's fine. We'll take what we can get, and you know what? Most people, once they volunteer, they have such
They
a
come
good
back.
time, they come back, yeah, so.
But the volunteer, I mean, the hayride is, a history hayride is more oriented toward the Civil War, right?
No, not really.
Oh.
However, I know why you have that impression. We're still in the 150-year observance of the time of the Civil War
Oh, okay.
in our state, well, in the South. Therefore, we have been honoring the Civil War
Right.
by having several characters, local characters who had a part in the Civil War in our hayride. But that is the reason. But not everything is about the
Civil
Civil
War.
War in the hayride.
Okay. Well, thank you for.
And it's not
certainly welcome.
a Halloween type thing, or there's nothing scary about it. It's a family-oriented thing. We do ask, though, that for those who participate in it, that very small children generally are not comfortable sitting on a hay bale for an
2
hour and a half to 2 hours, or anybody else who would have problems with that. It would not be a good thing for them, because the wagons go on a continuous route throughout the park, and there's no stopping or getting off or anything else. You remain on the wagon the whole time.
And there are guides who are narrators on each wagon who continue telling the history as you're on the wagon going from scene to scene. They generally will give you a prologue so that you know what you're prepared to see.
Oh,
And
okay.
all the characters are dressed in period dress, representing people and events that have happened in the park or in the surrounding area. We don't have anything representing Cannon County yet, but we do try to change our programs somewhat every year to keep it interesting to people to come back to from year
Right.
to year.
You want something new, huh?
Yes.
New and exciting.
One of the things that is different this year is that Lori Christensen, who has been playing a Civil War mother, is going to be playing the very popular role of the Black Widow of Hazel Green.
Oh, she'd make a good Black Widow.
And, you know, this lady is interesting.
She
And, Lori's interesting, but the character's interesting too. She was the daughter of one of the first settlers to the area, who's had a Revolutionary War grant to settle in DeKalb County, and he founded the town of Liberty.
Oh, okay.
And he had this daughter who was 2 or 3 years old when he moved to the area, and she grew up there and married a preacher, and they moved off for his preaching, and they were married about 17 years and died, and then she was married about 5 more times in quick succession, each husband dying rather mysteriously, and each time she got a little wealthier. So we don't really know whether it was just circumstance or...
Sounds suspicious to me.
There was a lot of talk about it in those days.
Well, Lori will fit right in there, I'm just telling you right now. Well, I thank both of you for being on with us today. I think Edgar Evans State Park, or I think all of our state parks are great, but this one seems to, maybe it's just because you contact me, but this one seems to have more activities. And I'm sure the other parks do too, and I'm just not aware of it, but we are aware of this one, so. But I have some other events that I have to go into here. September 11th, the American Legion Post 279 will present a memorial to 9/11. It will be at the courthouse on the square at 11 a.m. and everyone is invited to attend that. You know, everybody is not going to forget 9/11, I don't believe. That was one of the big tragedies of my lifetime, really. And so the American Legion wants to pay homage to that, and they will do a ceremony on the square at 11 a.m. Friday and Saturday, September 12th and the 13th, the JMP Rodeo will be at Justin Pemberton Arena in Woodbury. The gates will open at 5:30. Mutton busting, that's my favorite event, starts at 7 p.m. You will enjoy bronc riding, calf roping, bull riding, rodeo clowns, and more. It's great family entertainment, and they also have food. You need to go to that. That's Friday and Saturday, September 12th and 13th. Friday and Saturday, September 19th and 20th is the Cannon County Gospel Jamboree. This is their 9th annual Jamboree. The show time will be at 6 p.m. on Friday and 12 noon on Saturday. It will be at the Justin Pemberton Arena, covered arena, and that's located right off of Lehman Street in Woodbury. And you can call Johnny Duggan for information on that, 615-278-8512. If you don't get that, call the Chamber, 563-2222, and I'll be sure to give you his phone number. Saturday, September 20th, Moonshine Music Festival will be held at the Short Mountain Distillery off of Highway 146 in Woodbury. Showtime is 2 to 8 p.m. It is a one-day event. Tickets are $15 in advance, $20 at the door, and there will be 7 bands scheduled to perform at that. Saturday, September 22nd, something I work really hard on all year long, the Color of Fall Car Show, sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, will be on the square in Woodbury. Registration is 8 a.m. until 12 noon. All cars, truck, and unique vehicles are welcome to attend. 70 trophies, which are sponsored by O'Reilly's, by the way. They have done our trophies for us, so this will make the 2nd year. And they are awarded plus 7 cash prizes, goodie bags and dash plaques to the first 100 entries. Major sponsors are the Cannon Courier, Copy Express, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and the Community Wellness Clinic, which of course features Tabitha Smith, and she will be moved into her new building in September, and we're proud to have her come on board as a sponsor for the car show. Edgar Evans State Park, they're taking reservations online for their 9th annual History Hayride, and that will be held on Saturday, October 11th. They will take reservations for their November 1st fall color boat cruise on Center Hill Lake. You can call Anna or Font at 765-5357 or go to their Facebook, and that's www.facebook.com/friendship, Friends of EESP. Whew, that's a mouthful. Saturday, October 11th, we're going to get into this. The Spectacular Fest and Fall Flea Market will be held at the Trading Post on Highway 146, right next to the distillery. It will be open from 10 until 5. All vendors will be dressed in costume. Candy for trick-or-treaters, best costume prizes, pie eating contests, mule wagon rides, and free spaces for all the vendors. And you can call Savannah at 615-464-7824 if you would like to set up a space for that. It's free. Saturday, October 11th, the Toy Drive Cruise-In is on the square in Woodbury. Bring a toy for children at Christmas time. And DTC will be awarding the 32-inch color TV that they sponsored this year for our cruise-ins. You do have to be present to win that. And the ones that have come to all of our cruise-ins will have more than one chance to win that. So we appreciate everything they've done for us all year. And the times for that cruise-in, it will be our final one for the year. It will be 3 to 6:30 p.m. And this is just a hint. Tuesday, October 14th, Carson and Barnes Circus will be set up at the area in back of the Art Center. And this is for 2 shows, 4:30 and 7:30. They're going to have elephants, and I mean more than one, because they have called and made sure I had an area where the elephants could graze. That's kind of scary, I think.
That's exciting.
And they have a petting zoo, elephant rides, and a big top tent that will seat 1,200 people. And you will be hearing more about that at a future time. And I know we're out of time. And DTC, thank you, and Brittany, and all of our guests that were on the show today. And we'll see you next month.